Looking at the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen a massive push in digitalization. Many experts speak of a digital transformation, which has now been pushed even further due to the great advancements in artificial intelligence. Considering this, what have been the main challenges in your own professional context?
I would like to see these challenges as a window of opportunities. Never before have I been able to collaborate so easily with colleagues, especially on an international level. It gives us so much more flexibility. Also, I would almost like to call it a digital revolution rather than a transformation. It revolutionizes the way we collaborate, the way we create knowledge, as is the case with AI, and the way we think about education. The main challenges are staying up to date with developments, a reflective stance towards new developments, and a new teacher's role. We need more flexibility and a certain degree of a kind of serenity. When new developments occur, we should take a step back and analyze it in terms of our goals in EFL teaching and learning. What am I able to work with? What should I focus on? What can be left out for the moment? In my opinion, one fundamental question is, how does it change foreign language learning and teaching? The question is not, will it change, but how?
Looking back, what was one of the most innovative solutions you came across?
The value of collaboration in a digital space is a new development I very much appreciate. The role of AI as a learning assistant in the sense of augmented intelligence, its potential, for example, in terms of differentiation, task design, individualized feedback, but also its limits. Think about dealing with fake news. These are definitely innovative solutions we'll have to deal with as teachers in higher education as well as in schools. But how do we educate students and our pre and in-service teachers accordingly? We should give them opportunities to actively work with, for example, AI tools and reflect upon their learning processes. This needs to be part of professional development initiative as well.
On an institutional level, what kind of general infrastructure or strategies were provided by your university?
Video conference systems and interviews such as this one would have not been able before. And also the use of learning management systems in terms of a synchronous way of teaching and learning, but also giving students tasks before classes in the sense of a flipped classroom. In a way, it's also increased speed. There's also one conference after the other, especially, of course, during the pandemic, but even nowadays. Processes are more condensed and schedules are tight. In a way, you're almost online and you might have to consider some kind of digital detox at some point.
According to you, how do you think can virtual and physical settings be connected more successfully in teacher education?
Again, I'd like to focus on collaboration and the collaborative opportunities that are being offered. On a social level, face-to-face interaction is still important, of course. Maybe as a as a kind of kickoff of a project, what exactly do I do in which phase? What can be transferred into the digital mode? What needs to be done in real life? And together with my students, my role is to guide them in their learning process. And together, we reflect upon our journey in this digital revolution. Also, what we should look at are good learning scenarios in teaching, in research on an international level. And interestingly enough, sometimes it's almost more difficult to bridge the time difference than to use digital media. Sometimes it's different. So we never know. You have to be very flexible, as I said earlier. And we should also integrate research-based elements in classes. How are phases of in teacher education as well as the digital world intertwined, and how do they connect? Where's the value of both?
Some teacher educators are still critical of digitalization. What would you like to tell them?
Ask the following question: which mindset do I have? Am I open and flexible? And as a teacher educator, how do I relate to these developments? What's my professional stance towards it? In my opinion, we live in a world that is shaped by volatility, flexibility, and openness. And how do I position myself here? Important for education in general are the so-called four C's: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. In foreign language education, we can very much relate to that. My question for critics is, Would you like to live without your phone? Food for thought. More than that, can these developments be stopped, or is it not a matter of adapting and reacting to it? And my advice is a certain degree of mindfulness. Maybe switch off from time to time. I'm very much convinced one of the future competences we need to work on our resilience.
Universities, in particular, are highly complex systems that need a long time to change and adapt in terms of teaching, research, and administration. If you think about 5 years from now, what do you think is most important to successfully support the digital transformation in teacher education?
Language teaching and learning is definitely in the process of change, and these changing conditions require a transformation of learning arrangements and learning processes. And this process is characterized by creative approaches, increased collaboration, and openness. And as teachers, we need a reflective perspective on our competencies, all of us, in order to meet these challenges in a self-determined way and to experience self-efficacy. And my perspective is it not a question of it is not a question of when a process is completed. Important is the mindset of engaging critically and openly with these new developments and reflecting upon them. At the same time, we should keep the reflective goals of teaching and EFL learning in mind.